This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I am your host, Eric. And I say it again, I'm Eric. Today's game, we'll be pitting Benchwarmer team of Matt and Markkus versus Benchwarmer Lux and returning player, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, Mike. Help me with that.
Yeah, Khoury.
Khoury. Oh, all right, cool. All right. Welcome back, Mike.
Hey.
Hi.
Good to be back.
How many times have you been on now?
I don't know. I think I passed the 5-timer, right? Or this is 5 or 6? I don't know. I lost track.
I'll look it up here.
This is very interesting. Anyway, how have you been? Why don't you take a minute, remind everybody who you are.
Yep, I'm well, thank you. I'm living over here in Buffalo, big Bills fan, Sabres fan, and otherwise don't really know that much about sports, so I'm not sure why I keep coming back.
No, I give you credit. You're like one of the few people that would know, I guess maybe not a few people, but you knew who Hoyce Gracie is, so that's up there.
So related to that, I pulled my back in jiu-jitsu this morning. So I'm an old man with back problems, and but just excited to be on. It's always a fun time with you guys.
So basically, if we're going to strike, we need to strike now.
Yes, exactly. But if we get on the ground, you're in trouble.
Soon. You'll find out.
All right, and you'll be teaming up with Mr. David Lux. How are you, sir?
I'm good. We're starting to get to the heat of summer, and it's hotter than blazes outside. I'm not happy about that, but super psyched to be playing. And I've been on with Mike Khoury once before. I just checked, Mike. You've been on. This is your 6th time.
Oh,
so you've already passed the smoking jacket. So now you're just getting the patches on the side or whatever. So
yeah.
But yeah, excited to be here and excited to be playing paired with Mike. And since Mike is an old friend of Eric's, we decided to go for a little current pop culture reference here. And we're going to be, we have a need for Eid.
Hate it. David, just to let you know, Mike is he's a good locker room guy. So
so he has to counterbalance me, the cancer in the clubhouse. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He might not get invited to a lot of basketball games, but when he is there, team morale is up. Anyway, Matt and Markkus, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good. It's fine. It's was 107 here yesterday, so that was kind of crazy. But just busy, life and kids and moving my mother-in-law and all this stuff, and it's just yay. So, Markkus.
Wait, hold on. 107.
Yeah.
How long does it take to cook an egg on your driveway?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
I was out in the heat for probably 2 hours yesterday in the sun because I had to go. I was in the Jeep. I had to go pick up a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of errands. So I was in the Jeep for like 2 hours straight. It was awesome, actually. I liked it.
Because Mike, I don't know if you know this, but here in Buffalo has never hit 100 degrees.
Really?
Is that true?
Ever. 100% true. Never hit 100.
I mean, I definitely don't remember it, but never is a long time.
It brings up it on the news all the time. Like tomorrow it's supposed to be 90, which is ungodly hot for here. So, we'll see.
Never is a long time.
It is.
I'm sure at some point when the
warming,
Earth was like in a primordial type situation.
So ever since Channel 2 was around.
Yeah. The world started with Channel 2, as you know.
Jesus, yeah.
All right.
It was
Markkus.
then the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Markkus is literally bored by us. He was like rubbing his eyes, falling asleep.
No, that's just allergies. I'm jealous of all this heat because for once, like I always tell people, I'm like, how much they say it rains, they over exaggerate. Except for now, which was the first summer in forever that like for the past 2 weeks, it's just been pissing rain here. It's freaking June. I'm tired of it. I want the sun so badly. And on top of that, I started, we had spring ball for me coaching and have 60 freshmen that signed up. And so I get questions like, do you know what wrestling is? And hey, coach, I've been practicing for 4 days, full contact, and my helmet doesn't fit. So just dealing with stuff like that. I just don't even. It's funny because they think they're adults, but they're children who I don't know how they make it through 24 hours, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and excited to be here and to play again. And Matt and I are not doing a timely pop culture reference. We know all of you out there are big fans of Migos, and especially their song Bad and Bougie. And tonight, Matt and I are going to be bald and douchey.
That might warp into just douchebags by the end of the night. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Just douchey. Just douche and douchey.
So
Team douchers.
we need to bring Walling into this conversation, considering that he's a douchebag.
Listen, I didn't say bag. I didn't say a bag.
Douche. There you go.
Douche waffle.
Trying to steal my name. That's identity theft. Anyway.
Identity theft is serious.
Yeah. I was part of this podcast for a damn year. And all of a sudden, now there's another one. You know what? No. Forget it. Let's kick it over to Dan for the rules.
We'll be starting off with the coin flip question to warm up the teams. This will be followed by 4 quarters of play, each with a different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions pertaining to sports. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
And it's time for the coin flip, a 50-50 warm-up question worth 10 points. And as always, this will go to the guest. And since this is your 6th time that we figured out, I figured why not throw you some wheelhouse questions?
Great. Teamed up with David and wheelhouse questions.
But I make them fun wheelhouse questions for me, not anybody else.
Yeah.
All right. So which is more? Wins as a Buffalo Sabre by Dominic Hasek and Tom Barrasso, or touchdowns thrown by Jim Kelly and Josh Allen?
Oh my God.
I'm going to say the number is somewhere around 300, but I have no reason to believe one is higher than the other. I have no idea. I mean, these are always coin flips. I don't even think it's worth spending time on. I love the Tom Barrasso reference. Nice pull. I don't know. What do you think, David?
It would take me so long to break this down to try to figure out. Well, first of all, it's always hard for me for hockey anyway to place numbers. But Jim, yeah, whatever you think, flip a coin if you don't know.
For some reason, I think Jim Kelly had around 200 touchdowns, and I think Allen's somewhere near 100. I could be totally off. And then, so if I think about wins by Hasek for 6-7 years, 40. Barrasso, I don't know. Let's go with the goalies.
All right,
checking
in with Hasek and Barrasso. So Josh Allen has thrown 103 touchdown passes.
Well, there you go.
Tom Barrasso has 124 wins. Jim Kelly has thrown 237 touchdown passes. Dominic Hasek, 234 wins. So the correct answer is Dominic Hasek and Tom Barrasso with a total of 358.
That's a cool question.
So, the only reason I wrote that is just to prove that, once again, Josh Allen is not elite. Moving on.
Not sure you accomplished your goal, but I respect it.
What do you think about the New Orleans Saints? Okay, moving on.
I'll save that for the end. We got questions about them. Not really. I would never write a Saints question I'd throw up in my mouth. Anyway. So after the coin flip, we have a score of we have a need for Eid at 10 and bald and douchey 0.
Before we get to the first quarter, we wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
brings us to today's first quarter, which will be pre and post game.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, the answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
All right, pre and post game question number 1. Canadian first baseman with over 300 home runs and an NL MVP to call his own, and is a European center drafted in 2012, who has played his entire career for one team in California, and in March of 2022 signed an 8-year contract extension.
We'll check in.
All right, Bald and Douchey has checked in. I have a need for Eid. I'm going to need an answer since time has run out.
Well, I'm pretty sure we have the first half. We went through a few different names. We went through Justin Morneau, and then I realized you said NL, so that didn't quite work. And I'm pretty sure the first half is Joey Votto, which would leave us with a Thomas or a Tony or something, and we've got nothing, right? Do we have anything?
I got nothing. The Sabres have been so bad for the last decade that I've tried to not pay attention to hockey. So I have like a huge hole in my knowledge. And certainly not for West Coast games that start at 10:30.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go with Joey Tony the Tiger.
All right.
Yep.
And Bald and Douchey.
Yeah. So quickly, I said Joey Votto for the Canadian first baseman and NL MVP. I tried to work that Morneau also, but he was only in the NL for a couple of years. And then we racked our brains, and I did pay attention a little bit better this year with the Wild. I remember them talking about about when they played San Jose, a guy named Thomas Hertl.
Oh.
And so this is the only one I could think of on the Canadian team whose name started with Thomas or Tom. So we went with Joey Thomas Hertl. Yeah.
One team getting their points. The correct answer, Joey Tomas Hertl. He's a Czech hockey player.
That makes sense. I was like, Thomas, sure. I was like, that's the only name we're coming up with. Like, go for it. I'm not going to help you here.
I thought maybe keeping it recent might help a little bit, but maybe not.
It actually hurts.
All right, pre and post game question number 2. Penn State linebacker drafted 8th overall in 1987 that would win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and was a linebacker picked in the 3rd round by the Bears in the early 2000s, making 7 Pro Bowls, and was named one of the 100 greatest Bears of all time.
All right, we'll check in.
I have a need for Eid has checked in. Bald and Douchey, you guys are open to discuss.
Man, I don't know Defensive Rookie of the Year, especially from 1987. And then without a NFL team, I know that Penn State was linebacker U for decades there. So pick one of the probably 25 awesome linebackers that they had come out from the mid 80s to I have no idea. I know those 90s linebackers that came out of Penn State, but I can't think of anybody from 87. So for the second part, you said Lance Briggs.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think
I
it
know
makes
he wasn't
sense
a
also.
first round pick. Probably better than Brian Urlacher, but anyways.
Then did Urlacher he didn't make the Hall of Fame, did he?
Yeah,
he did.
He did?
And his new hair. Oh, this is gonna make me absolutely insane. Because, Defensive Rookie of the Year doesn't even mean necessarily they had sustained success. It could have been a year.
So, like the end of the name could end with Lan.
Yeah.
Something like, it'd be Landon. Something Lan.
Nolan.
Nolan. Yeah. There you go.
Or I have so many 80s linebackers and none of it's matching up.
Man, I wish I knew what NFL team he played for. Obviously, that would be a big hint, though. So makes it too easy, probably. 1987, Defensive Rookie of the Year. So good defenses in the 80s. That would have been the Giants were at a fantastic defense, but those guys would have been older. Like wasn't Pepper Johnson, right? He was a linebacker, but
I don't think I'm going to get it. Oh, God. All right. If this was about the 1995 workout warrior who beat Mike Mamula and Springs.
I have an autographed Mike Mamula helmet.
I'm not going to pull this.
So we just punt.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just for the people, we'll check in with Mike Mamula and Springs.
All right. And I have a need for Eid. What do you got?
Yeah, we both had this pretty quick. Although even though I had a poster of him on my wall, David beat me to it. It's and I think Eric was just throwing me a little hometown softball. It was Shane Conlon is the linebacker. And so it's Shane Conlan Spriggs.
One team getting their points. The correct answer, Shane Conlan Spriggs.
I am not even mad about that. That wasn't in there.
As great as Penn State, as linebacker, you and all that, but Shane Conlon was one of the all-time greatest that I can remember at Penn State anyway.
Yeah, he was sad that I have to say he went to the Bills, but yeah.
I honestly don't think I've ever heard that name before. So
Really? I've heard the name, but I just couldn't. It just wasn't in there. And you know what? That's okay. I just learned something today.
He's actually from the area as well, where he basically lived in between Buffalo and Penn State growing up and went to high school. And when, he went to Penn State and then was drafted by the Bills. So he didn't really venture too far out of here until he went to the Rams to end his career. And that's your Shane Conlon minute.
Hashtag Shane
Conlon. Pre and post game question number 3. Center who spent 8 of his 20 years playing in Chicago. In 2007, he became the third American-born player to score 500 goals and is a retired point guard and current NBA assistant that made one All-Star team. He was famous during his playing career for his free throw routine, standing over 1 foot behind the free throw line.
All right, we're going to check in.
Bald and Douchey has checked in. I have a need for Eid. Talk it out.
So Mike sent me an answer for the whole thing within about 15 seconds. Immediately said Jeremy Roenick Van Exel, and we're having a little trouble. It did.
But I have
no
idea. Work. Yeah, I have no idea if either of them fit exactly these things.
Well, Roenick definitely played in Chicago. 20 years sounds like it could be right. And I know that he's one of the guys who scored 500 goals because I've seen that list not that long ago.
Yep.
Nick Van Exel, I think, is an assistant in Atlanta now. I can't remember the free throw routine thing. I don't know how I would have missed that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything better. Do you want to go with that?
I mean, those other names you brought up that would Americans that would have scored 500, like Madonna or Hall. I agree with you. I don't think they played for 8 years in Chicago. Chelios is American, though.
Yeah,
right?
but Chelios was a defenseman. 500 goals would be an awful lot.
500, although he did have a long career. I don't know. I got nothing better than the first thing. If you're okay,
yeah, I'm totally okay with it.
I actually had no idea where Nick Van Exel was these days.
It makes sense. I mean, he was kind of a knucklehead, but he could be a coach. That doesn't disqualify you from being an NBA assistant coach. All right, we're going to check in with Jeremy Roenick Van Exel.
All right, and Bald and Douchey, what do you got?
Yeah, I didn't know that he was an assistant, but the one All-Star team, like, I feel like I've brought up several times, and it's come up on the podcast about like how Rod Strickland finds his way into questions and things like that. And he's like one who hasn't made an All-Star team. But then I got down a rabbit hole of people who have made one, and Nick Van Exel stood out. And then after that, I've played so much Brett Hall hockey 95. I think I've brought it up here several times, and I'm fairly certain that Jeremy Roenick was on the Blackhawks. And I just sent it to that's why I said, I think I'm helping myself out. And I sent it over to Matt. I said, Jeremy Roenick, does that work? And he agreed. So we also checked in with Jeremy Roenick Van Exel.
Both teams getting their points. The correct answer is, of course, Jeremy Roenick Van Exel. Van Exel is a assistant for Atlanta. And I believe Jeremy Roenick's still unemployed after being fired in 2020 after some comments.
Oh, my gosh. That guy.
He had some opinions, huh?
It was just inappropriate stuff towards
more like being a creep.
Oh, that's right.
Catherine Tappan,
right.
who is
and you know what? Hey, Jeremy, you join the club, but just keep it to yourself, buddy.
Yeah. That was not good.
Yeah, you don't get to proposition people for threesomes just because you think they're attractive.
Just because you were unstoppable in NHL '93.
And Just to clarify, there are only 4 players in NHL history, American-born players with 500 goals. Anybody? No? Let's move on.
Wait, no, what now?
Oh,
Wait,
There's only four American-born players to score 500 goals in NHL history.
Red Hull.
we know Jeremy Roenick. We know
Brad Hull is not
he's
one of
not
them.
considered American.
He's not American.
Madonna.
Madonna, yeah.
Yes.
Chelios? No.
Is Keith Kachuk one of them?
Keith
Kachuk is one of
there
them.
You go.
Hell yeah, Phoenix.
Is Kane in there yet?
Kane is close. He's 430 currently.
Ah.
Hold on,
I'm
I gotta
blanking-
write this
I'm
down.
blanking on
Is
the
he
last
even
one.
good anymore? Is he ever going to get there?
He's not going to get there.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
He's 70 goals away if he averages 20 a year for the next 5 years. He's not. I don't think he's got that much longer left in him.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been going at it a long time.
Question number 4 in pre and post game. I apologize. This is very hockey heavy pre and post game. I apologize.
Whew.
Stars winger, who led the NHL in scoring with an unimpressive 87 points, and is a retired Stars goalie acquired by the Sabres in June of 2022 in a salary cap related move.
We're
Okay.
gonna go ahead and check in.
All right, Bald and Douchey has checked in. I have a need for Eid. Talk it out in 20 seconds.
Oof. All right. Well, for some reason, I want to say the Stars winger, only because I've looked at scoring leaders. I want to say his name was Jamie Benn. And then when that hit me, I was like, well, that's a good first name. So Ben something. And so I'm leaving it to my partner's mind right now to come up with Jamie Benn something. And I've got to go. See ya. No. Mike, what do you anything?
I don't know. I'm going to say Smith. I feel like
Jamie
it starts
Ben
with an
Smith.
S, and I got nothing. But
It
I'm
sure
going
does.
to use Smith.
All right. We're going to check in with Jamie Ben Smith.
Hoping for a lucky Jamie Ben Smith here.
Exactly.
Bald and Douchey, what do you got?
I came up with the first half. I remember this guy. I actively try everything I can to avoid even considering that Dallas even has a team anymore. So, but I do remember the name Jamie Benn. So I came up with Ben, and then I said, I think his name is Jamie. And
Yeah, the first name that popped in my head because I remembered I was trying to think of the Stars goalie that was just playing out of his mind the last couple of games. I thought he was the current goaltender and the old one. Like I had them confused. But then when he said Jamie Benn, I said, oh, well, the name I wanted to say from the get-go was Ben Bishop. But I didn't think that it was correct because I thought he was the current goalie. But then when you said Jamie Benn, I was like, well, then this has to be him. And then now I have no idea who that current goalie is. But I remember watching that Calgary Dallas series and he was nuts. So we checked in with Jamie Benn Bishop.
One team getting their points. The correct answer is Jamie Benn Bishop. Jamie Benn is the only NHL point leader to do so with fewer than 90 points in a full season since the 60s.
Was that this year?
No, that was 26, mid 2010s.
Okay.
Spacing on the year.
Because I
Nice
asked,
goal, Markkus.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I listened to a gambling show, and one of the guys is a Stars fan, and that's the only reason I knew Ben Bishop. But I thought he was the current goalie until I started thinking about it, and then Matt came through with Jamie Benn.
And I think you're referring to was it Ottinger? Is the goalie
Yes.
currently?
Oh my gosh, that dude was weathering like 100 shots every game. It was crazy.
Yeah, because that's what happens when a team that doesn't belong in the playoffs makes the playoffs.
For real.
All right. I have two things to say. One, Mike, I'm sorry. Should have gotten more of those. And two, I no longer have the need for Eid. I think we need a team change. Team change.
Oh, it's just going to get better. All right. All right. So after the first quarter, we have a score of we have a need for Eid with 60 and Bald and Douchey 75. All right. That brings us to today's second quarter, which will be the missing link.
The Missing Link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the fifth question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the fifth question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the fifth question.
All right, missing link question number 1. What 3-time All-Star in 2015 set the record for most consecutive postseason games with a home run with 6? It unfortunately didn't lead his team to a World Series win.
Okay, you want to check that in?
Yeah.
Okay, we're checked in.
Bald and Douchey's checked in. I have a need for E. Talk it up.
So Mike immediately mailed or texted me and said, "This is the Royals, right? 2015." I said, "Yep." Playing the Mets. Because we were trying to remember who was. I mean, obviously there were a lot of teams that lost in the playoffs. It doesn't say that it didn't lead his team to a World Series win. That implies that it's somebody on the World Series loser, but it doesn't have to be. Just that he was in the postseason. And I'm pretty sure the guy who went on a hot streak that year was Daniel Murphy. So I think we check in with Daniel Murphy. Mike, are you all right with that? Yeah?
Very much all right with that.
Okay. We're going to check in with Daniel Murphy.
All right. And Bald and Douchey, your answer.
Well.
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah, that I think you're right, David. And we did not come up with that. We also, Matt was on it really quick, had the Mets in Kansas City. And I was just thinking of power hitters. And I said, I'm pretty sure this is like the height of Yoenis Cespedes. And Matt agreed. But once you said Daniel Murphy, I absolutely remember him it was like Jeremy Lin-esque. Like it was just this nuts thing that happened. So I think you're correct, but we checked in with Yoenis Cespedes.
One team getting their points. The correct answer is Daniel Murphy. I have no flavor text because it's about a Met.
Yeah. And it just came out of absolute nowhere.
So I want to say it was 6 straight games though? Because I know 8 is the regular season record because Griffey was one of the people who did that.
You're damn right.
And Mattingly is one of them as well. So, okay.
Yeah. It's
Griffey. Who is this? The dad.
The goat.
I know the dad. Yeah.
The goat.
The
goat.
He had a kid?
Yeah, Trey Griffey. He's an average receiver.
He's an average receiver. That's right. I was about to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So far, our themed answers are Daniel Murphy. Question number 2. This athlete is the owner of the world long jump record, but has never won a gold medal. He earned a silver in 88 and 92.
No, he won golds. Unfortunately, track is one of my niches. So it's from my hometown. I'll come up with the name in 2 seconds here. This is one that I could take over.
This is an exclusive look into my life, but when people are playing online video games, you just hear a lot of random stuff, and nothing is more unsettling when you hear from the other room somebody yell, "Well, no lube, here we go."
That is disconcerting.
Those are the worst games.
That is Joshua was in the other room. He went, "Oh, no lube, let's go." And I was like, "Geez." Yes, kind of.
Markkus,
yeah,
wait till you're after 40 and you hear that. It's a whole different experience.
Damn. Yeah, I'm good with that. That sounds familiar.
Let's go ahead and Eric, we're going to check in.
Bald and Douchey have checked in. I have a need for Eid. You guys can talk it out for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we need the 2 minutes. So the fact that they didn't win a gold medal, and of course that the long jump record was one of the longest standing records. Bob Beeman had set it in Mexico City at altitude, and it took forever for somebody to break it. But eventually Mike Powell was the one who broke it. And so we will check in with Mike Powell.
And Bald and Douchey, your answer.
Yeah, I asked a question about this, not this one, but about Beeman breaking the record in a question, and then this came up, and then I got into a YouTube rabbit hole about record breakers from a guy that still holds the record, I think, for the javelin. Anyway, so Mike Powell is the answer.
All right, both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Michael Powell.
Me and Mike are sitting here just shaking our heads as Matt and David just go to town. Also, awesome. I didn't know Willie Beeman did long jump.
All right, so far our theme linked answers are Daniel Murphy and Michael Powell. Bet you those two names have never been in the same sentence before.
Ever.
Question number 3. Drafted in the first round by the Raptors, where he would never play. What Big East center recorded 11 blocks in 2012 versus the Hornets? Now retired, he is a current player development coach for the 76ers.
The really crappy part about this question is just the fact that there's so much shuffling in college basketball. It's like, now I got to go. Okay, who is a part of like the real Big East? The Big East before it became whatever it is now, where it's just all the Catholic schools or whatever.
Yes, this is the real Big East. I'll give
you the real Big East. Exactly.
This is not Creighton Big East.
Right. Creighton Big East. Oh my gosh. I watched Creighton play. I think it was in the Big East tournament, and dude broke his arm trying to brace it after he got like tangled up, and it was gross. It wasn't like Paul George leg break on the stanchion gross, but it was pretty gross. I did not like it.
I used to love that show on MTV, Scarred.
Nope.
Nobody would ever watch it with me. I'm just sitting there watching people shatter their ankles on TV. I'm like, this is awesome.
No, that's a. Oh God.
I've never broken a bone, so I don't get it.
Oh, I could tell you a story about breaking bones.
After you told your tear gas story, I don't know that I want to hear that.
That's how when I was a sophomore in high school wrestling, and a kid did an illegal move. I was beating him pretty good. And in the second period, I chose to be down to escape, and he put his ankle around mine and pulled my ankle one way when I went the other way. And we were in like one of those like a steel barn, kind of a thing where they had a gym, so you could hear the echo of the breaking against the steel. It like echoed all around for like 15 seconds. I was like, what the just happened?
All right, Matt,
I have no idea. So you're not your own, buddy. I love you, but I have no help here.
I can tell you're telling us a story about disgusting injuries. This is a name that was around that time.
O'Reilly.
Wait, that's
yeah.
I know, Paris.
Wow. That's who I couldn't think of. Yes.
Yep. We will check in.
I have a need for E has checked in. Baldwin Douchey, you got 3 seconds.
All right. Well, I named a bunch of Big East centers. Matt said I'm on my own, and I'm going to try and play Know Your Host because I know the host loves a certain Big East center, even though he wasn't very good. So we're going to check in with Roy Hibbert.
And over to I have a need for Ed, your answer.
Yes, we checked in with the same thing.
Why don't you want to say it?
Oh, sorry. We checked in with Roy Hibbert also.
It's just weird that he didn't say it. I'm like, what's going on?
No, because I'm distracted with the conversation I'm having with Mike. Sorry.
Right,
My bad.
Right. Both teams getting points. The correct answer is Roy Hibbert. And Marcus, I don't know what you mean. I'm not a Roy Hibbert fan at all.
I feel like we have had a conversation where you have explicitly said, I liked Roy Hibbert a lot.
What?
Am I making that up?
You might be.
I remember that conversation.
Look at Matt's face. No, you did.
No, you do not.
I swear we've had this conversation.
On the air?
No, definitely not.
I'm like, wait, because if this is out there somewhere, I need that immediately removed because I don't think I've ever said that.
I'm pretty sure he's your favorite
Who am I
ever.
thinking of? That's so weird. I could have sworn we had this conversation.
I despise Georgetown.
Then I don't know what I'm talking about. somebody I know hates or loves Roy Hibbert. And thank you for helping me get that question. That's so weird. What?
Maybe you really like Hashim Tabit.
That was the other. What's the other name that I put down? Matt put down.
To me, for some reason, those two are ones that I thought of because they just for some reason they go hand in hand to me.
Yeah, they're just big ass dudes who weren't very good
and Big East centers. Yep.
All right, our theme linked answers are Daniel Murphy, Michael Powell, and Roy Hibbert. Question number 4. Most know Joe Thornton for his epic beard toward the ends of his career. What teammate of Thornton that was drafted as a winger but was converted to defense has an equally amazing beard? I think the switch to D worked out for as he is the winner of the 2017 James Norris Memorial Trophy.
So we were trying to think of guys with big beards, and I can't for sure remember her first name, but I'm pretty sure that his name was or is Burns. And that's what I sent over to Mike. And I think we agreed that we're going to go with that. So are we good to check in that? Burns? Mike?
Yes.
Okay. We will check in with Burns.
And Bald and Douchey, your answer, please.
Yeah. So again, trying to think of people who play with Joe Thornton, people who had epic beards. And so I came up with Brent Burns.
Say that again.
I came up with Brent Burns. Okay. Sorry.
Right.
I said Brent.
Right. Both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Brent Burns. He was drafted by the Wild and as a winger and was converted to defense. And it worked out. And I hate him. So, fun. So our theme link answers so far: Daniel Murphy, Michael Powell, Roy Hibbert, and Brent Burns. Missing link, question number 5. USC running back who in 2007 would publish a book. All rights and proceeds from this book did not go to him.
Oh, no. Yeah. We can check in.
All the douchey is checked in. We have a need for Eid. What do you got?
Orenthal, James, Simpson.
Okay, and Bald and Douchey?
Yep.
He didn't do it.
Oh, geez, here we go with this stuff again.
Well, if he did,
he would have done it this way.
He wrote a book about it. He didn't do it. O.J. Simpson is what we checked in.
I mean, if anything, he just reiterated that he did not do it. That's all the book was.
Exactly.
Wasn't the title of the book like "If I Did It"?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But he didn't. But if he did,
I would tell people too. I'm like, if I did it, it would have been way better. That's what it basically was just saying. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, both teams get their points.
So how could you think that he did it?
Exactly. You never would have thought it was me if I did it. All right. Both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Orenthal, James, Simpson. So that gives us theme-linked answers of Daniel Murphy, Michael Powell, Roy Hibbert, Brent Burns, and O.J. Simpson. So I have one theme-linked guess from one team, just waiting on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to go with that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if so, we can talk it out.
You guys can talk it out, whatever you got.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure since Hibbert is not a name that's probably going to make it, lend itself to a missing link. It's got to be these first names probably. So
No,
Daniel Murphy,
I think
Powell,
I think Hibbert's a name
Roy.
of a Simpsons character.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I think it's the Doctor, maybe. I don't know. That show's overrated and garbage. But
Bold
yeah,
moves.
you heard me.
Bold move.
You heard
Cotton.
me, all you people out there that stand the Simpsons, get out of here. But I think Hibbert, I think he's a doctor. He's one of the few. He's black, I think, in the show. Doesn't matter. I think these are Simpsons characters.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna check that in.
All right, and we have a need for E. What was your answer to the theme?
Yeah, well, David was onto it pretty early, and it's absolutely Simpsons characters. You got Doctor. Actually, I forgot the list of names. O.J. Simpson. Dr. Hibbert.
Dr. Hibbert. Yeah.
Bleeding Gums Murphy.
That's right, Bleeding Gums Murphy, and then we sent so many to each other that
we were out between the fourth and the fifth question. We were throwing back what we were thinking, like, okay, he's going to do Mario Chalmers. He was going to do. Yeah. We were going through all the names, saying like, all right, who could be a sports person of any kind?
And the obscure one that you remembered is Herb Powell, Homer's half brother, voiced by Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like if you guys got Powell, then like that immediately gets you right where you got to be.
I had nothing at that point, but David jumped on it.
So yes, the correct answer is Mike. Actually, you hit everything. You hit all the characters: Bleeding Gums Murphy, Herb Powell. I already forgot who the other ones were. Dr. Hibbert, George Burns, or not George, Montgomery Burns. Montgomery Burns.
They're about the same age. They're about the same age, though.
Yeah, Montgomery Burns.
That was the joke in one of the episodes. It was his brother. His younger brother was George Burns.
I was struggling for a missing link, and I was sitting there, and there was a Simpsons marathon on TV. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
And Markkus, seasons 2 through 8 are the only ones that count. I don't know. Everything else is garbage.
Which, in fact, then makes the show mostly trash.
Yes.
Oh, I agree. I refuse to acknowledge that it still exists. To me, it died about 20 years ago.
Perfect. We can agree on that. Like, yeah. I remember like certain things that I loved about it, but then I like watched it as I got older, and I'm like, wow, what is?
No, 2 through 8 are brilliant.
All right.
After the second quarter, we have a score of Baldenducci with 205, and we have a need for Eid with 260, bringing us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
So halftime today, I will list you 3 sports movies, and I want to know which of the 3 made the most money during its opening weekend.
Oh, God. Oof. You weren't kidding. Oof. All right. Here we go.
That's rough.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Question number 1. Major League 2. Oh my God. Rudy or Draft Day?
Oh, God.
All right. I'm going to be a pain in the ass here. I just have a quick question.
Is this not adjusted for inflation?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See, everyone else was thinking it. I'm not just okay.
We're going to go ahead and check in.
Wait, can you paste the 3 in again? Because I already forgot what the third one is.
It's Major League, Rudy, and Draft Day, David.
Major League 2.
Major League 2.
Major League 2. Rudy. Rudy 2.
Rudy 2. Rudy Poo is more like it.
All right. Baldenducci has checked in. David and Michael, we have a need for E. Talk it up.
So which one would have had like more hype? And I feel like Rudy had a lot of I was pretty young. I can't say.
You know, it's hard to believe that Major League 2 could be the answer, but that's the only one on the list that's a sequel, for what that's worth, right?
Right. So it had a fan base going in. It had big stars. But I mean, I'm with Eric, and I'm on record as being like a bigger fan of Major League 2 than 1. And we've talked about this. It's because of probably our age, and I saw Major League 2 first. I saw it 100 times. So in my mind, it's like a classic, and not realizing, I only learned recently that most people hate it. So I don't even know if it did that well.
It doesn't matter. But from that alone, I would go with Major League 2, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
But then with the modern, and Draft Day, the inflation question was important, because Draft Day being like a much more modern movie is you would think it's going to skew it, higher, but I don't think anyone cared about that movie. So I don't know. I could see it either way. It's
so do you want to go Draft Day just based on recency?
Well, maybe that's why he's throwing that in there, right? Because you would think it's
honestly, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not Rudy. I think he's doing this to prove a point. If Rudy were actually number one, he would never write a question for which the answer is Rudy. So I'm ready to disqualify that.
Wait, does Eric not like Rudy? Who doesn't like Rudy?
I like Rudy.
Oh, who doesn't like Rudy?
Bombeck hates Rudy.
Bombeck hates everything. He's like Bombeck. He's like Mikey from the Life Zero.
Well, like the
commercials. All right.
fiery passion.
How could you hate Rudy?
I don't know.
Just,
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I still. Okay, so let's go with draft day.
I don't care. Draft day is fine.
We're gonna go with draft day.
All right. Bald and Douchey was your answer.
We spent a lot less time debating and discussing it, and we just went with draft day.
For the best.
All right. So draft day, which both teams have picked, made $9.78 million its opening weekend.
That's not a lot.
No.
Rudy.
It's not quite a Marvel movie.
Rudy made $881,000. And Major League Two made $7.04 million its opening weekend.
Ooh.
The correct answer, both teams getting points, is draft day.
Yay.
Yeah. Question number 2 in halftime. It gets better.
Uh-oh.
Which movie made more money its opening weekend? Air Bud, D2, The Mighty Ducks, or Draft Day?
And this is another 10-year-old Mike bias, but D2 was a huge freaking movie to me. It was a big deal. That was a very big deal. It might not have been to anybody else.
That was 30-year-old me
To me, it was an Avengers
for
movie.
Draft Day.
Yeah.
I was sitting out in my
For
lawn chair.
us three, D2 was a fucking big deal.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
that's like Marvel level to me in my head.
Oh
when I was
yeah,
10.
I was so excited for that freaking movie.
Realistically, it might have maybe $1 million. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wait, hang on. You
$1
better wait. They haven't checked in yet, so don't give away all your inside information on this.
Yeah.
Which sold more DVDs at Circuit City, Rudy or?
That's my next game's halftime question.
We are going to check in.
We have a need for Eid has checked in. Bald and Douchey, talk it out.
So do we think Eric is trolling by including draft day again? Now I will say, like I said, same age group, Mike, Eric, and I. So like D2 was a big deal. There's a lot of marketing behind it.
We got to remember that D2 came out like what, 93? 93?
92, I think.
Okay. So,
or maybe that was the first one. It was early to mid 90s.
Yeah, let's say mid 90s. It was like closer to like 94, 95. Then we still need to think about draft day came out in what, 2012?
Yes.
So, at least 20 years or about 20 years later. So 20 years, $2012 versus $1995.
Don't worry about that.
I was shocked at what he said the number was for draft day. Like, honestly, I was shocked by it. I don't know.
So
I don't know. I want you to go.
It's D2 or draft day. It's one or the other. I don't think it's Air Bud.
What do you have? If you have a strong feeling either way, Matt, I honestly don't know. This is
I say we go draft day just to be funny. Why not?
Okay.
Who cares? We're gonna go draft day again.
All right, and we have a need for Eid. What was your answer?
Yeah, we just went with D2. I got sucked in by the hype again.
All over again. Mike was standing in line to buy popcorn and to answer this question. So
yeah. All right, so everybody from the previous question know that draft day made a outstanding $9.78 million. D2, The Mighty Ducks, the sequel, was a big movie. It was $10.356 million. However, Air Bud, the movie no one picked, didn't even come close. It was like $4.8 million. So one team getting points on that. Bringing us to question number 3 of halftime so we can get the frig out of this halftime. Question number 3, the 3 movies which made more its opening weekend. Basketball.
Oh no.
the Mighty Ducks or draft day?
Okay, we're gonna check in.
All right. Bald and Douchey has checked in. We have a need for Eid. You guys can talk it out for the next minute and a half.
I didn't want to be the ones talking this one out.
No,
You're
let's get it
welcome.
over with.
Yeah, exactly. So just based on absolutely nothing except for psychoanalyzing Eid, and since we have the need for Eid, we're going to check in with draft day. Right? Yes? Yes, we're going to check in with draft day.
All right. So checking in with draft day and over to Bald and Douchey for your answer.
Yeah, draft day again. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna ride or die. 3 in a row with draft day, baby.
Let it ride.
Let it ride.
I'm going to write an all draft day, let it ride or throw in the towel. So again, everybody knows draft day made big money on its opening weekend with $9.78 million. I don't think a movie's ever come close to ever again. Mighty Ducks, the original, $6.03 million. And basketball, it actually made less than Air Bud, $3.08 million. So the correct answer is draft day. And the moral of the story is I'm out of halftime questions. So after halftime, we have a score of Bald and Douchey with 255, and we have a need for Eid with 335. Now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Today's third quarter will be David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath. This quarter will consist of 3 pairs of questions, one easier, David, and one harder, Goliath. After hearing both questions, the teams will pick one of the 2 questions to answer, either David or Goliath. Each David question is worth 25 points, and each Goliath question is worth 50 points.
This is going to be style that I've done before, the alumni edition, David versus Goliath, I'm sorry. So I'm going to give you a player. You just have to tell me what school they went to. Simple. So question 1, the David, John David Booty, and the Goliath, Marion Butts.
We're going to check in.
All right, we have a need for Eid is checked in. Bald and Douchey, you guys can talk it out.
So David is the question answer. David is USC. So where John David Booty went.
Yeah.
And then Marion Butts, I'm having a hard time because I think it's one of the Florida schools, like one of the big 3, Florida, Miami, Florida State. And I just can't pinpoint which one it is. I don't know if you have anything creepy crawling in the back of your brain.
No, I don't.
So we have a 1 in 3 shot, and we could just get it. Take a guess, or we could take the sure thing. I'm sure David has this. This is going to be something where David connects it to something random thing, or I don't know. I don't feel confident enough. Like I know what I would guess if I was forced to, but we could.
What would you guess if you're forced to?
If I was forced to guess, I would guess. I would guess he's a Seminole, but I don't feel confident, like at all. So unless that sounds familiar to you,
I mean that kind of makes sense, but I don't really know. I don't know that I have no.
What about it makes sense to you? I guess like give me logic.
I don't know. It seems like because that time frame that he came out, they were. I don't know. I kind of envision him at Florida State and not at Florida or Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you though.
I'd hate to go down by even more right now.
We're down by 80.
Yeah. I would say let's go with the David for now.
Okay.
And then we can go for other ones that we have less of a 1 in 3 chance of getting.
Sure. I love it.
Okay. We're going to check in with David with USC, Southern California, that is.
And we have a need for E. Your answer.
So yeah, we got to USC pretty quickly for the David, and I was pretty sure after I checked in, I texted Mike and I messaged Mike and I said, I'm pretty sure it's Florida State. And then as Markkus started talking, I was like, yeah, I think Florida State is right. But we checked in with David, USC.
Both teams getting their points. The correct answer to the David is USC, where John David Booty played from 2003 to 2007. And then from 1987 and 1988, good old Marion Butts was a Florida State Seminole.
Damn it.
Wow, I hate that so much. By the way, do you guys know John David Booty's son's name? Or no, it's his nephew.
Yeah, I think I posted this to the chat. I forgot what it is now, but yeah.
It's
Big
General
Booty or something.
Booty.
General Booty, yeah. General
That's his
Booty.
nephew. General Booty.
Love it.
Yeah. So nice job tying together booty and butts.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It all comes together.
You're so clever.
Just gets better. All right, question number 2, David and Goliath. The David, Chris Winkie. And the Goliath, Dick Butkus.
Oh, we can check in. Do you know him, Matt?
Yeah.
We can check in also.
Do we want a 3-2-1 it? Dare we on a Goliath?
Wait, now
Matt,
let's
you
make
want
sure we
this
check.
one?
Sorry, Mike. I took this one without even consulting with you because
No problem. Please take it.
All right, so we have a need for E. What was your answer?
I was waiting to see if we were going to 3-2-1 it.
Go ahead. If you guys both went with Goliath, go ahead.
You Goliath, Markkus, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Count us down.
3, 2, 1.
Illinois.
All right. Everybody knows Chris Winkie went to the wonderful Florida State University, and Dick Butkus did go to Illinois. Both teams getting their points.
The Fighting Juice Williamses.
Wait. So we've got Butts, Booty, Winkie, and Dick Butkus. Okay. I wait. Can I check in my missing link theme now?
Yes.
Dongs.
Sure can. I don't think Dick Trickle went to college, but I did look. All right. Question 3, David versus Goliath. The David, Clinton Dix, and the Goliath, Lynn Dickey.
Oh, you better have this. I'm not even going to say anything. You better have this. I'm going to vamp. I'm going to vamp on the fact that the Mariners consistently trot out Abraham Toro as their DH and or utility player, and he's batting 165. It's psychotic behavior. Here we go, Matt. Here we go. Ooh, ooh.
Yep. I'm like 90% sure of this. So,
all right. Yeah, just go for it. You don't even need to tell me what it is.
Oh, okay.
I believe you.
We'll go ahead and check in.
All right. Bald Ducey has checked in. We have a need for Eid. You guys can talk it out.
David's reading his Lynn Dickey football card in
Is
his
he
head
trying
right
to
now.
sneak into the Mind Palace right now? That son of a bitch.
I got this.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He's creeping in the back door.
Jeez.
He pulled some pantyhose over his face and just sprinted out of the room. Oh, no. Hopefully Dan installed those new alarms.
Dan's literally just walking out of the shower right now.
Oh, man.
We need a sounder of that. Just somebody screaming every time he breaks in.
I got it. I got it. We can check in. I got it. Oh, we're going to, can I check in?
Yeah, you're
It's
actually talking
yes.
it out right now, David.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. That must have been terrible. Okay. It's Kansas State.
Alden Ducey, what was your answer?
Yeah. Kansas State.
All right, both teams getting their points on this one. The correct answer is Kansas State for Lynn Dickey, and everybody, I would assume, knows that Clinton Dix went to Alabama.
My favorite fantasy football team name I ever had was Monica Loves Clinton Dix.
Yep. I had that same
Oh
one.
my God. First episode I ever came on, I asked a pre and post game that was Clinton Dixie Carter.
Oh, I remember. I was like, this guy pulled out Dixie Carter.
Yeah, I sure did.
All right.
Wild move.
After the third quarter, we have a score of Baldenducci 380. We have a need for Eid at 460. And that brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. The GOAT, the GOATs, GOAT-like, old and young GOAT. So the GOAT is, I don't even know. Where am I? That's going to be mixed martial arts. The GOATs will be the NFL. GOAT-like will be baseball. And the old and young GOAT will be hockey.
Oh, God.
This round is grotesque.
Wow.
Nice.
All right, it is now time for the teams to place their wagers. And now that the wagers are in, on to the questions.
Cut that. I'm not proud of it.
That's staying in. All of it. You're getting older now, Markkus. These dad jokes are just going to start flowing through you.
It's being around the kids. Well, if this doesn't go well, Eid, you're going to be somebody that I used to know.
Oh, I told you these dad jokes are just going to keep coming. Question number 1 of the fourth quarter. Category the GOAT. Chuck Norris, Mike Tyson, Junior Dos Santos, Jose Aldo, and George St. Pierre are a few of the many that call what fighter the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Referee John McCarthy compared this fighter's legacy and impact to Wayne Gretzky, Pele, and Ali. He retired in 2012, became out of retirement in 2015. Most recently, he defeated Rampage Jackson in 2019 by TKO in the first round. And in 2021, he defeated Timothy Johnson via knockout in the first round.
Oh, I think I got this.
Chuck Norris. I'm sorry. When you started the question on Chuck Norris, I was like, oh my God.
Because if you're
so
talking
confused.
about MMA, like, well, what does Chuck Norris think about
Right.
this?
We are checking it.
All right. We have a need for Eid has checked in, and Alden Ducey, you guys got about a minute to talk it out.
All right. So Silva is a name I know.
It's not Vanderlei Silva. Oh my gosh. I know. Oh my. See, like originally I was like, oh, this could be Hoist Gracie, but he doesn't knock people out, and he definitely retired a long time ago. But then the name, oh gosh, his name's Fedor something. It's super Russian. I don't, or Ukrainian something. I don't think I can pull it. It's there. I know his first name's Fedor because that's what a lot of people call him, because obviously they don't want to say his last name. God, I'm going to be so upset.
Eric, you wouldn't take Fedor?
That's all I want, actually,
Are you kidding me?
because that's what he goes by. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then we'll check in with Fedor
For 90 points.
for 90 points.
Because nobody refers to him as his last name, so that's fine. It's like saying Pele or whatever, you know what I mean? So same difference.
Okay.
And over to, we have a need for Eid. Your answer and wager, please.
Yeah. It is Fedor. Last name, I believe, is Emelianenko or something
That's it. Oh my gosh, that was killing
like that.
me.
Absolute dominant, savage, technical machine. But I believe he never fought in the UFC. He was
Never.
in Pride or Bellator, one of those other ones.
He's done
But
a
it's
lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that his peak was before all the UFC fighters got like really good, because it would have been awesome to see him against some of these real fighters.
So
But yeah, anyway,
right.
him, and we wagered. What did we wager for this one, David? 30?
Yes.
all right, both teams getting their points on this. It is Fedor. I'm not going to say his last name, and he actually has fought against 11, I believe, UFC champions in his career, not in the UFC, and he is 9-2. I know one of the more. I know he knocked out like Andre Orlovsky,
who's still fighting, by the way.
Yeah,
still fighting. That guy's nuts. Andre Orlovsky is a madman. He's like 43.
Can you knock out Dan Orlovsky?
I think we could all knock out Dan Orlovsky. We probably should with some of this shit.
Yeah, can he though? Please.
So after question 1, scores a little tighter. With Bald Douchey 470, we have a need for Eid 490. On to question number 2. The GOATs. The list of all-time sack leaders in NFL history is a lot of names of players that have played for more than one team. In the top 25, there are only 4 players who spent their entire career playing for one team, 2 being Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan. Who are the other 2 players in the top 25 that only played for one team?
Eric, we're going to check it.
All right. Bald Douchey is checked in. We have a need for Eid. Talk it out.
So almost immediately, Mike sent over. Who'd you send over almost immediately? Sorry, it was Derek Thomas. Yeah, and then we were throwing around some names, and we're trying to figure out if this was the official list or the sort of the made up list, because I think on the made up list somewhere really near the top is Jack Youngblood. But I think that now that Eric has clarified that this is the official leaders, that would drop Youngblood way out. So we like Derek Thomas. And then we were throwing around some other names. We kicked around the one that we seem to like the best is, who did I say?
Mathis.
I forgot. Robert Mathis. The other guy that's making me really nervous is Chandler Jones. I feel like he's creeping up the list, but Eric did say
he played for New England and Arizona.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say Chandler Jones.
Oh,
that was the wrong
Cameron Jordan.
Cameron Jordan. Sorry, I had the wrong CJ in my head. Right. Sorry. Yes, Cameron Jordan. Cameron Jordan is creeping up the list, but Eric told us earlier that he would never write a question about a Saint, so that can't be right. So at the risk of overthinking it, I'm leaning towards Mathis and Derek Thomas. What are your thoughts?
I'm with you. I'm not overthinking it. I think those are 2 really good guesses, so I'm good with it.
All right, we're going to check that in. We're going to go with Derek Thomas and Robert Mathis.
How many points?
100.
And Bald Douchey, your answer and wager.
Yeah, we went with Derek Thomas was one of the first ones I said, because I just was throwing out people who I knew played for one team and had a lot of sacks. So we said Derek Thomas right off the bat. And then I was listing a few names, and every single one that we could come up with played for multiple teams. And then I said, well, what about Mathis? And he says, yes, I was just thinking of that. So, yep. So we checked in with Derek Thomas and Robert Mathis. Yeah, Mathis.
For 100 points.
100.
All right. So we have top of the list is Bruce Smith. He's played for multiple teams. You don't get until number 17 on the list with 126 and a half sacks at Derek Thomas. And then again at 19 with 123 sacks. Nobody wanted to say Cameron Jordan because it wasn't him. It was Robert Mathis.
Hey!
Yes.
So both teams getting their points, but Cameron Jordan is in 27th slot with 107, 1 half sack behind Chandler Jones, who's at 25.
Oh, funny. Okay.
All right. This is going to be, I think, a Lux Doherty question. So,
oh, geez.
Here we go.
Buckle
Me and Mike are gonna shoot the shit.
Yep.
All right. So, question number 3. What player is known for having one of the greatest throwing arms of all time? Former manager Felipe Alou has said that there's a plateau where you can't throw the ball any harder and you can't throw the ball any more accurate. This outfielder, who played 10 years in the big leagues and only earned 1 Golden Glove, one of the greatest throws in MLB history was when he threw a laser from the corner of right field to home plate, throwing out Cincinnati Red David Concepcion, who was trying to score from second base.
All right, we're going to check in.
All right. We have a need for Ian has checked in. Bald and Douchey, you guys can talk it out.
I hate this because in my head, when I think of throws to home, I think of Bo Jackson throwing out Harold Reynolds.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of.
Too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not obviously not right. So now what do I do?
I can see my brother's baseball card, I'm pretty sure, for this guy, because this is Felipe Alou, who was managing the Expos.
Ooh.
And I can't come up with his name. I can see
Andre
it. I
Dawson?
know he was. No, it's not Andre Dawson played more than 10 years.
Oh, fair.
This was a guy. He was a black guy with like big bushy afro, and I remember the afro like popping out of his hat, kind of a deal, So
I loved that era of baseball, by the way, when you saw dudes with massive afros. Oh man, I'm trying to think of Expos besides Andre Dawson, and it's all stuff that's like in the mid 90s. It's not like
this was like this was like it was like, I got a feeling it was like the 70s. But
well,
I don't know. I'm not gonna pull
Matt,
it.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's just like random Expos outfielder.
Well, let's come up with a lucky something.
Yes.
You
Jones
said
or Johnson.
Said it was a black guy,
the black guy,
Sanders, or Lucky Williams.
So, Lucky Williams. There you go. Let's try that.
All right.
We're gonna go ahead and check in with Williams for 100 points.
And over to we have a need for Eid, your answer and wager.
So we bet 100 points, and I'm pretty sure I could see this in my head, and it's Ellis Valentine. And the only thing that was throwing me was that I don't think his manager was Felipe Alou. He might have been his teammate. I mean, Felipe Alou managed the Expos, but that was several years later. Valentine played in like the 70s.
No, that makes sense. Yeah,
which is when Dave Concepcion. No. The clue says his former manager Felipe Alou. That's why I was confused. But Felipe Alou did manage the Expos, and Ellis Valentine did play for the Expos, but I don't think those two happened at the same time. In any case, we checked in with Ellis Valentine for 100.
Oh, you know what? That's correct, but the Wikipedia page is wrong then. Because I literally just copied and pasted that out of there.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Or are they saying that Felipe Alou, like maybe he played with them at the time of that throw?
To be former Expos manager.
I think we just got to throw this question out and do another one. I'm pretty sure.
I have plenty.
Maybe he was the manager when he said this.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, could be.
No, actually, they had a heck of an outfield back in that day because it was Andre Dawson, it was Ellis Valentine, and the third guy was this guy named Warren Cromartie, who was also a great hitter. Yeah. They had some good players in Montreal.
So one team getting their points here. The correct answer is Ellis Valentine. And like I said, if you have not seen that video, it's him throwing out Dave Concepcion at home, and it's disgusting. Like the ball rolls in the corner, and he doesn't even like set his feet. He just turns around and rifles this thing. It's beautiful. All right, that brings us to question number 4. Old and young goat. The Art Ross Trophy is given to the leading point scorer in the NHL every season. The most common age of the winner, happening 9 times each for both, is 24 and 26. Who's the only 19-year-old to win the Art Ross, and who is the oldest player to win? He was 37 when he won.
So we're looking for 2 names?
Correct. This is not no trickery here. It's not the same guy.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and check in.
Oh no!
Bald and Douchey has checked in. We have a need for E. Talk it out.
Oh boy, this is rough. Yeah, David's still sending me pretty good names.
I know.
Yeah, well, we think for the younger one, it's basically a coin flip between McDavid and Crosby. And for the older one, I mean, the fact that like I was saying, the fact that the category is, something GOAT related, it's obviously somebody pretty good. So, we're just going down the list of legends. I don't think Lemieux was still playing by 37. Gretzky, not that great at 37. But I really like, I think it's interesting, the Yager. I think Yager is pretty interesting because I think he did have like a really good season when he was old. Yeah, you threw out St. Louis.
I'm just trying to name guys I know lasted a pretty long
Definitely
time.
led
Yeah,
in
like Guy
scoring.
LaFleur was another one I threw. I'd Phil Esposito, probably. I mean, I don't know how old these guys were. I'm just thinking of classic sort of scoring guys. That's why I threw out Martin St. Louis.
Gordie Howe
played forever. That's true. Well, I guess the other question is, and I don't know the answer to this question, but like, how long have they been giving away this trophy?
Good question.
Since as long as Channel 2 and Buffalo.
Yes. Channel 2 invented the trophy, actually.
Nice.
Remember when I posted that R&B bracket and somebody had Guy winning the whole thing? What the hell are we doing? You said Guy LaFleur and it triggered me.
Guy LaFleur. But what does that mean? So that's French for like what? The flour.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's a tough flour, like a dogwood, right?
I remember that.
thought they were
So
talking about a Guy flower. Isn't that his virginity?
So going to try to keep some semblance of decorum. I don't think it's not going to be like Crosby and Lemieux, right? Like that, just because that would be too, it's not going to be those two guys bookending this. I don't see it.
And I think Lemieux was, he retired young.
Yeah, I think he did retire young. That's right. So I like Crosby, and like I said in the chat, I would vote Crosby, and only because there's an anti-recency bias, so I don't want to say McDavid. So my temptation is to go Crosby, and then whatever you want for the older one.
I'm afraid you threw out one of the right names, and I'm going to pick the wrong one. But I'm going to say Jágr.
Oh, Jágr? Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Connor McDavid's the best player in the league, Paul.
All right, so we're checking in with Crosby and Jágr.
For how many points?
71.
Yep, that many.
And Bolton Shear answer and wager.
We just had Ovechkin and Gretzky
for 90 points.
Well, first of all, you guys said Lemieux retired young. He did not retire young.
Oh shoot!
He retired at the age of 40. Yes,
he got cancer. He took some time off.
Took about 3 years. 3 years off, and then came back and was pretty good for about 5 years. But did officially retire at the age of 40. Anyway, so the youngest players, there's two 20-year-olds to do it, one being Connor McDavid and one being Wayne Gretzky. But the 19-year-old to lead the league in scoring was Sidney Crosby. And Jágr, he never won the league scoring title after the age of 28.
Oh, oops.
So there's a handful of 30-year-olds, Lemieux being one of them, who did it twice. Esposito, Roy Conacher, Gordie Howe did it at the age of 34. Wayne Gretzky did it at the age of 33. But the 37-year-old who did it in a shortened season, which I believe his name came up, David. I think you said his name. It is Martin St. Louis.
Nice.
It was Crosby and St. Louis.
Well, I was right. You threw out the right answer, and I picked the wrong one.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, we threw around so many names. Who the heck knows? You knew it wasn't Jamie Benn, and that's important.
Or Jordy Benn, for that matter. He's less talented.
Or
idiot.
Brett Burns.
Or Ben Roethlisberger.
Anybody see that video on Twitter? Just some fat guy gunning a football, and they're like, Ben's back?
Yeah, I saw that.
Anyway. So neither team getting their points on that one, and that does bring us to the end of the game. And here are the final scores. We have Bald and Douchey with a solid 380, and we have a need for Eid, who are receiving our clipboard captain, the Alex Van Pelt Award, with 619 points. Would you prefer the Jeff Toole Award, Mike? You can pick.
No. Pitt's finest.
Washington State legend Jeff Toole? Are you kidding?
No.
Levi Brown. Do you want the Levi Brown trophy?
Ooh.
Exactly. No one wants that one. Where do you go to Troy? Some terrible school.
No, if you're going to do Troy, you got to do the Leonis McKelvin Award.
Oh, man. I met him once. It was hard to understand what he was saying.
He's from the South.
Did you throw a football at him and he had no idea where it was in the air?
No, it was at one of those like charity bike ride things around here, like
Roswell.
I don't remember, Tour de Cure or something. Roswell, yeah, one of those.
Mike, thanks for coming on again. Anything you want to say before we call it a night here?
No.
Yeah, easy.
All right.
Anything anybody would like to say before we call it a night?
Mike, holy shit, thank you for coming on again. You're way better than Josh North. I want to let you know that. Apparently I've heard the last few episodes we're like comparing friends who've been on the show. You're way better than Josh. I don't know why Josh is even in the conversation. He's
But he beat me heads up.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I think that was a fluke, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
So,
okay.
You know,
You call shenanigans.
I'm rooting for you if that ever happens again.
Thanks, Markkus.
So, I appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate Matt and David and Eric. Not that walling D-bag. So
right.
I can't wait to talk about this episode on the OT.
I love it. But anyways, great as always, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick just to say, Mike, thanks for playing. I mean, it was a good partnership. I think you definitely picked us up on some of the hockey stuff that I was clueless, and the MMA I don't think I was going to come up with on my own either. So good teamwork. It was a lot of fun. It was great. And Eric, a lot of hockey, man. Whoa, holy crap! I know, and I get it because we collectively without you don't write enough hockey, and I admit that I'm not good at writing hockey questions. But wow, this one beat me down. So there it is. Thank you for writing it, though. It's a really good game overall. I really liked it.
I know that this is not a part of the show, and we usually discuss this afterwards, but I am really excited, and I want the listeners to be excited about this because they'll know ahead of this part of the conversation. So I'm excited because the episode title ideas are either where do I have it written down here? There you go. You don't get to proposition anyone for a threesome, even if you dominate an NHL 93, or Guy LaFleur is French for a virgin man's flower.
I'm not sure you could use either of those as titles. They're all very long.
It's just Guy Flower.
That's what she said.
Exactly. Not that you could use NHL 93somes as a title either.
You can?
Yes, you
Why
can.
not?
I think that's the title. That's my pitch. Is
You might get
just
some real traction with that.
you could just pick any like three players from '93 that were really good, and you could just like layer them up on the graphic.
I like to have a little bit more maybe a little risque titles make Mason really,
All right, well,
really
then go for
squirrel.
NHL 93somes.
If we have threesome in our title, we're going to get so many Google hits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Beat
post
the
this on
algorithm,
Benchwarmers
baby.
OnlyFans?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome
Hey,
to the
the
Benchwarmers
NS
I've been talking
OnlyFans.
about that for years.
The NHL 93some giving new name to a hat trick.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. And thank you again, Mike, for coming on. And thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we might punch Dan Orlovsky in the face. But we'll definitely keep the bench warm.
Manscaped.com, promo code BENCH.
Bench. Can we switch it to Guy Flower?
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.